Now we are going to start with type 1 diabetes mellitus, that is immune mediated. This is part 3 of diabetes mellitus. I'm reading it from Nelson's edition 22, page number 3517, chapter 6 to 9. Let's start. Type 1 diabetes mellitus accounts for approximately 10% of all the cases of diabetes in all the ages. Only 10% it is, right? Affecting 2 million people in the United States and more than 15 million people in the world. Approximately 15,000 youths are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes mellitus each year. Although type 1 diabetes mellitus accounts for most of the cases of diabetes in childhood, it is not limited to this age group. Okay, the type 1 DM is just not limited to childhood. New cases continue to present in adult life, and up to 50% of the individual with the type 1 DM present as adults. Okay, this was something very new. That up to 50% of the individuals with the type 1 DM present as adults. Okay, the incidence of type 1 diabetes mellitus is highly variable among different racial and ethnic groups. The overall age adjusted incidence of type 1 DM varies from less than 5 in 1 lakh per year in parts of Asia, Africa, and South America to more than 30 in 1 lakh only per year in Northern Europe. The incidence of type 1 DM is increasing in most population, but not all. Okay, and this increase appears to be most marked in the population where the incidence of autoimmune disease is historically low. Data from the Western Europe Diabetes Center suggests that the annual rate of increase in the type 1 DM incidence is 2 to 5%, whereas some Central and Eastern European countries demonstrate an even more rapid increase of up to 9% increase can also be seen in some countries. Data from the United States have shown that the incidence of the type 1 diabetes mellitus in children increased by 1.9% per year from 2002 to 2015. This data is very not important. Steeper increase in the annual incidence were seen in the people of Asia and Pacific Islander, 4.4%. 4.4% has been increased and has been seen in India also. Hispanic 4%, black 2.7% versus those white only 0.7%. So this type 1 DM increase is related to the racial factors also. Females and males are almost equally affected. Okay, and with the modest male preponderance in some population states and female preponderance in the other, like in countries like Japan, females are more commonly affected by this disease. There is no apparent correlation with the socio-economic status. Peaks of presentation occur in two age groups. What are the peaks of presentation? One is at 5 to 7 years of the age and at the time of puberty, and the other one is at the time of puberty. The first peak may correspond to the time of increased exposure to infectious agent coincident with beginning of the school. Okay, so what is written is first peak is when there is increased exposure to infectious agent, which is coinciding with what beginning of the school. The second peak may correspond to the pubertal growth spurt induced by gonadal steroids and increased pubertal growth hormone secretion. Okay, second peak by growth hormone secretion, which antagonizes the insulin, right? Because this growth hormone which is increased in the pubertal spurt is increased, which is antagonist to the insulin. The understanding of the cause of the diabetes or of its increased incidence remains elusive. A growing number of the cases are presenting between 1 and 2 years of age, especially in high risk groups. The average age of presentation is older in lower risk population. Okay, low risk population that migrate to a high risk country seem to acquire the increased risk of that country. There can be marked differences in the incidence rates in various ethnic groups within the same country. Incidence rates in the 10 to 14-year-old age group in the United States ranges from 7.1 in Native Americans to 17.6 in the Hispanics and 19.2 in Black Americans and 32.9 in whites. So this is the range of age group. right, in which the incidence is present in the same country. Now let's moving ahead. Reading the genetics, there is a clear familial clustering of the type 1 diabetes mellitus with prevalence in the siblings approaching 8%, whereas the prevalence in the general population of the United States is only 0.4%. Risk of the type 1 diabetes mellitus also increased when a parent has type 1 diabetes mellitus, and risk differs between the two parents. The risk is 3 to 4% if the mother is affected, but 5 to 6% when the father is affected. We have to know this risk also. Okay, so we if the parents are affected by type 1 DM, there is increased risk of type 1 DM in the children, and the risk differs between the two parents. Risk is 3 to 4 if the mother is affected, and 5 to 6 when the father is affected, more if the father is affected. In monozygotic twins, the concordance rates from 30% to 65%. Monozygotic twins, the concordance rate is that the type 1 DM will be present in both is 30 to 65, whereas in dizygotic twins, the concordance rate is only 6 to 10%. Moving ahead, reading the key features of diabetes in the pediatric patients. At the diagnosis, age at the diagnosis, in type 1 DM, it can be between 6 months to 18 years. Causes and genetic factor, it is autoimmune, it can be genetic, and there is something predisposition to HLA and the other genes. Associated features, lean or mildly overweight at the diagnosis, often with the weight loss. Thyroid, autoimmunity, or celiac disease may also be present. Other autoimmune diseases may also be present in this. And diabetic ketoacidosis at presentation, yes, about 25% of the cases will present with DKA in type 1 DM. This is an important data that we should know, that about 25% of the patients with the type 1 diabetes mellitus at presentation will have DKA. And what is the treatment in type 1 diabetes mellitus? It is definitely what? Insulin. Now, in type 2 diabetes mellitus, puberty, it is mostly diagnosed at puberty and rarely younger than 10 years. It is very rare in less than 10 years. Children affected are obese, and genetic predisposition is obviously present. Associated features are obesity, acanthosis nigricans, polycystic ovarian syndrome, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, fatty liver disease, and family history. This was important to know. The child will be obese, there will be acanthosis nigricans, PCOS, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, fatty liver, and family history. Yes, 5 to 10%. That is, 5 to 10% of this type 2 diabetes mellitus patient will have uh, DKA at the presentation. So, what is the treatment? We have to suggest lifestyle modification, metformin, liraglutide, insulin, or bariatric surgery. Insulin can also be used in type 2 diabetes mellitus also here. Okay. What can be used? Metformin, liraglutide, insulin, and bariatric surgery. Now coming to the monogenetic diabetes, that is maturity onset diabetes in the young, MODY. It is seen in younger than 25 years old. It is autosomal dominant. These are the genes involved: HNF1A, HNF4A, GCK, HNF1B. Lean or weight loss at the diagnosis, GCK variants are asymptomatic. Diabetic ketoacidosis is present at presentation or not? No, it is not present in MODY. And it can be treated by sulfonylurea. Okay. MODY can be treated by sulfonylurea. And it is an autosomal dominant condition that you should know. And the patients are usually lean. Fine. And there is no treatment for the GCK variants. And the age is usually younger than 25 years old. Neonatal diabetes in less than 6 months old, and these are the genes involved: KCNJ11, ABCC8, and INS. There is failure to thrive seen in the children. Diabetic ketoacidosis may be present. Frequency is not described, and sulfonylurea can be used for KCJN11 and ABCC8 variants, and insulin for the other variants. Now let's move ahead. We were reading about the genetics. Because the concordance rate of the dizygotic twins is higher than the sibling risk, factors other than the shared genotype may play a role in increasing the risk of dizygotic twins. Furthermore, the genetic susceptibility of the type 1 diabetes mellitus in parents of unaffected children is estimated at 3%. It should be kept in mind that although there is a larger genetic component in type 1 diabetes mellitus, 85% of the newly diagnosed patients with the type 1 diabetes mellitus do not have an affected family member. Okay, type 1 diabetes mellitus do have some genetic inheritance, but 85% of the newly diagnosed will have no affected family member. Okay, now starting with the